Good evening, and welcome to the Crypto Overnighter. I'm Nikodemus, and I will be your host as we take a look at the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. And remember, none of this is financial advice. And it's Thursday, March 30th, 2023. According to CoinDesk, Coinbase is talking to regulators about staying in Canada, even as the country makes rules tougher for cryptocurrency exchanges. Meanwhile, Binance, a much bigger competitor, appears to be planning to leave. Now, Coinbase is based in the United States and is trying to get the necessary license to keep operating in Canada. Coinbase's communications director is Elliot Suthers, and he said that the company is still fully dedicated to the Canadian market. Reportedly, it's a crucial part of their international strategy. On the other hand, a second individual who preferred to remain anonymous has revealed that Binance is likely to exit Canada. Initially, a Binance spokesperson said that the exchange had not made any final decisions about leaving Canada. However, another spokesperson later told CoinDesk that they are actively seeking registration with the Canadian Securities Administrators. Canada recently gave companies until March 24th to agree to new crypto regulations, following a well-publicized exchange collapse involving Quadriga CX. OKX also recently announced that they're going to be leaving Canada. Now, a third person familiar with the matter has revealed that Crypto.com intends to stay in Canada. Blockchain.com, however, has confirmed that it will be leaving. And Deribit has informed its customers that will also be departing. This new regulatory framework, announced on February 22nd, mandates the segregation of assets held in custody and tightens rules around rehypothecation, margin trading, and certain trades involving proprietary tokens or stablecoins. Paul Grewal is the chief legal officer at Coinbase, and he said that the Commodity Futures Trading Commission is working hard to understand what's going on at Binance. Now, Binance being the biggest crypto exchange when it comes to trading volume, Grewal said that there was a lot to understand about the CFTC's complaint against Binance. The Securities Exchange Commission has issued a warning to Coinbase. Now, Coinbase is the largest US-based exchange and the second largest in the world after Binance. And so the SEC said that it plans to take action against the exchange and its staking services for offering unlicensed securities. Now, Grewal points out that the company is an American company. It's based in California, incorporated in Delaware, and has a BIT license from New York. His point was, the company is not going anywhere, not entirely. That said, Coinbase is exploring other countries where regulators are more open to promoting opportunities for the crypto economy, because that's something that's not happening in the US right now. However, Binance is in a different situation because the exchange claims to have no home country. That's part of their plan to maintain compliance, although it might be causing them problems just now. So to recap a bit, the CFTC filed a lawsuit against Binance for allegedly violating US law. That lawsuit was filed on Monday in the US District Court for the Northern District of Illinois. They accused Binance of selling unregistered derivatives products. They're also accused of helping their US-based customers evade compliance controls through the use of a virtual private network. What's most striking about the CFTC's complaint is that it specifically names certain digital assets as commodities. These same assets are being referred to as securities by the SEC and others. So let's say that Binance is convicted of selling Ether illegally because it's a commodity and they weren't registered to sell commodities in the US. Okay, well, that's fine. So now what? Because does that mean that Coinbase can use this as the basis for dismissing their case with the SEC? Because the SEC says it's a security, and so that they get to regulate it. The CFTC says it's a commodity, and they get to regulate it. So who wins here? Anyway, back to the story. According to Grewal, the CFTC is making a great effort to understand the situation with Binance and to take action where it's necessary. However, he noted that the issue of whether the CFTC or the SEC has jurisdiction over digital assets is causing more confusion for the crypto industry. This highlights the fact that regulators can't seem to agree on a regulatory framework for crypto. He emphasized the need for sensible rules to define these terms and to provide clarity for everyone in the crypto industry, including investors and consumers. But the exchange news doesn't end there, because we now know that Kraken plans to keep operating in Canada. The country's financial regulator, the Canadian Securities Administrators, has set out stricter rules which Kraken intends to follow, unlike OKX, Deribit, and Blockchain.com. Now, Kraken has filed a pre-registration undertaking with the Ontario Securities Commission. That's because Kraken aims to become a registered, restricted dealer across Canada. Now, Canada has implemented stricter regulations for crypto exchanges. They also set a deadline for compliance with these enhanced pre-registration undertakings. Now, Kraken has been serving Canadian clients for more than a decade. They have over 250 team members based in Canada, and they were already registered as a money service business since 2019. So, much like Coinbase, Kraken is going nowhere. Now, Kraken's chief operating officer and incoming CEO is David Ripley. And Ripley put out a release that said Canada is crucial to their mission. So Kraken's going to make these changes to its services in Canada in the upcoming months. However, clients will receive notification before any changes that affect their trading experience. So if you're enjoying the show, please take just a moment to like, follow, and subscribe. That way the algorithms know to put this show in front of more people. Now, from crypto exchanges to stock exchanges, let's take a look at Germany. Because Börse Stuttgart's digital unit, Blocknox, has received the final license needed to act as a crypto custodian. This license allows Börse Stuttgart Digital to offer trading services for cryptocurrencies. They can also offer fiduciary custody to institutional investors. The second largest stock exchange in Germany expects banks, brokers, asset managers, and family offices to use its services. This license also enables them to expand their offerings to meet the growing demand for crypto services. CEO Matthias Vokel said in an email that the license will enable the exchange to provide a regulated one-stop shop for the brokerage, trading, and custody of digital assets. Börse Stuttgart is the sixth largest stock exchange in Europe, and they've been expanding into crypto services over the years. In 2018, it introduced a crypto trading app called BaFin. That app saw a trading volume of over $2.4 billion in 2021. The Finance Ministry of Japan wants to look into a digital yen by launching a panel of experts next month. Public broadcaster NHK shared the news, albeit without revealing their source. This panel aims to talk about how to create a structure for a digital currency. And to get started, they'll be using information from more than 2 years of experiments by the Bank of Japan. At the same time, the Bank of Japan will begin a digital yen pilot program with other financial stakeholders. The ministry will consider the panel's opinions and prepare for a digital yen introduction. This is even though the BOJ officials have said that they don't yet have plans to issue a digital yen. Japan, as the president of the G7 industrialized nations, wants stricter global crypto regulations. SEC Chair Gary Gensler agrees with US President Joe Biden's request. That's because Joe Biden wants to give the SEC $2.4 billion in funding. The reason for the funding is to continue to combat, quote, misconduct in the cryptocurrency industry. Gensler submitted testimony for the March 29th budget hearing with the House Appropriations Committee. He said that the extra funding was needed in order to keep up with the fast pace of innovation. Gensler also explained that the cryptocurrency industry has had a lot of misconduct due to technological innovation. To address this issue, new tools, expertise, and resources are required. According to Gensler, the extra funding would enable the SEC to employ 170 new staff. These new hires would work mostly in the enforcement and examination divisions. The SEC chair noted that the previous year's budget increase allowed the regulator to surpass its 2016 staffing levels for the first time. However, he added that the agency still needed more resources. Spoiler alert: government agencies always need more resources. As the regulatory agency responsible for keeping the watch over the markets, the SEC means to keep pace with the increasing complexity of the capital markets and the activities of bad actors. Gensler reiterated his description of the cryptocurrency industry as the Wild West. He stated that the industry is filled with non-compliance, and he warned that investors were risking their hard-earned assets in a highly speculative asset class. In the fiscal year of 2022, the SEC received over 35,000 tips, complaints, and referrals from both whistleblowers and other sources. These reports aided in the regulator taking more than 750 enforcement actions. Those actions resulting in $6.4 billion in penalties and disgorgement orders. And that's what it's all about, getting the agency more money to use to get more money. So 30 of those actions were connected to the crypto industry. By itself, that led to $242 million in monetary penalties, which is a 36% increase from the 22 actions announced in 2021. The Coin Center think tank has warned that a bill introduced in the US Senate called the Restrict Bill could have a wide and unexpected impact if it becomes law. This bipartisan bill, known as the TikTok ban, aims to restrict the emergence of security threats that risk information and communications technology. This bill has been introduced because there are suspicions that the Chinese-owned TikTok app is gathering user data on behalf of the Chinese government. If passed, the Restrict Bill could potentially pose a threat to cryptocurrencies. So here's what's going on. This proposed act would give the Commerce Department new powers to address the ongoing threat posed by technology from foreign adversaries. This would include the ability to review, prevent, and mitigate information communications and technology transactions that pose undue risk to the national security of the United States. The foreign adversaries listed under Title 15 of the Code of Federal Regulations are China, including Hong Kong, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, and the Maduro regime in Venezuela. Coin Center has stated that the Restrict Bill is similar in concept to the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. That's the name of the act that authorizes the Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control to prevent Americans from transacting with sanctioned parties. Coin Center highlighted the OFAC's misuse of this law to ban a class of technology, including the sanctioning of Tornado Cash immutable smart contracts. Coin Center expressed concern that the Restrict Bill creates a broad authority with few checks to ban almost anything linked to a, quote, foreign adversary. The Restrict Bill would be both simpler to apply and more difficult to challenge. According to Coin Center, this has significant implications for the cryptocurrency space that cannot be ignored. The Restrict Bill carries severe penalties, including imprisonment for 20 years and fines for $250,000. Legal experts have noted that the bill's vague wording could be applied to restrict a range of technologies, including virtual private networks. The lead author of the bill is Democrat Mark Warner, and he believes that a comprehensive and risk-based approach is necessary to tackle potentially dangerous technology before it gains a foothold in America. Among sponsors of the Restrict Bill is Kirsten Gillibrand, who is the co-author of the Responsible Financial Innovation Act with Cynthia Lummis. And while I appreciate the senator's work on cryptocurrency legislation, I cannot support this legislation. Justin Sun, founder of the Tron blockchain, lost his diplomatic role for Grenada. A report by the Grenada Broadcasting Network said Sun was no longer an ambassador. This after the new National Party lost the June 2022 elections. It appears that Sun lost his position because the National Democratic Congress took power instead. GBN reported that all ambassadors were recalled by the new administration a few months after taking power. Now, although Sun has not commented publicly on his status, there's been speculation on social media and in the press about whether he still holds the position. Sun was appointed as the ambassador for the World Trade Organization by Grenada's government in 2021. And Sun has been vocal about his ambassador status, referring to himself as His Excellency in interviews and on social media since his appointment. He even tweeted from his diplomatic Twitter account in October and still uses the His Excellency title on his personal Twitter account. Now, we covered it here just last week when the US SEC sued Sun for fraud and securities violations. This lawsuit also implicated 3 of Sun's companies, including the Tron Foundation. These accusations include manipulating the market for TRX through wash trading and paying celebrities to promote TRX without disclosure of compensation. 8 celebrities, including Lindsay Lohan and Jake Paul, have settled charges related to the case. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. If you enjoyed tonight's show, then please like, follow, subscribe, leave a rating or a review. And in the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow night.